Miles Kelly Book of Lists. I mentioned this a couple of videos ago, and I thought I'd read you a couple of lists from it. This book is split into sections. There's people, science, TV and film, music, art and literature, sport, history, geography, and just other things. Now, under TV and film and music, there are two lists that I thought were actually really interesting. They were the real names of 30 male actors and the real names of 50 male pop stars. Thought I'd tell you some of them. So, Michael Bolton isn't Michael Bolton's real name. His real surname is Bolton. All he did was he took an O out and replaced an I with an E. I don't know why actors and singers change their names, because it seems pretty pointless. I guess they just want to make it sound better for stage, maybe. Boy George, don't know why they've put him in here, because that's obviously not his real name. His real name's George O'Dowd. That just makes me think immediately of Chris O'Dowd out of the IT Crowd. Alice Cooper's real name is Vincent Furnier. Why would you change your name to Alice? It sounds more rock, I guess. Sounds more impressive. Neil Diamond's real name is Noah, and I really cannot pronounce his surname. Zeminski, maybe? Bob Dylan is called Robert Zimmerman. Gary Glitter is called Paul Gadd. This was made a few years ago, so it was acceptable for them to put Gary Glitter in here. Engelbert Humperdinck, that oh so famous man that we got to do the Eurovision a couple of years ago, is called Arnold Dorsey. His name's Arnold, and yet he changed his name to Engelbert. Why would you do that? Billy Idol is William Broad, Elton John is Reginald Dwight, Tom Jones is Thomas Woodward, Barry Manilow is Barry Pincus, Dean Martin is Dino Crocetti, Meatloaf is Marvin Lee Aday, Freddie Mercury is Farouk Bulsara, okay, George Michael is Georgios again, I don't know how the hell to pronounce that surname. Van Morrison is called George Ivan. A lot of them seem to be called George. That might just be me though. Gary Newman is called Gary Webb. Cliff Richard is called Harry Webb. Oh no, I really like Cliff Richard. That disappoints me. Ah. Axl Rose, his real name is William Bailey. Shakin' Stevens is called Michael Barrett. And Stevie Wonder is called Steveland Judkins. What? Now, for the actors. Woody Allen, his real name isn't Woody Allen. It's Alan Stewart Koenigsberg. Fred Astaire is Frederick Austerlitz. Yul Brynner, I don't know how to pronounce that, his surname is Khan. Michael Caine's real name is Maurice Micklewhite. I like Michael Caine. A lot, actually. Tom Cruise's real name is Thomas Mapother IV. That sounds very posh. I can sort of see why he would change that. Kirk Douglas's real name is Issa Danielovich Dembski. That sounds very Russian. I think it probably is. George Formby is George Booth. Charlton Heston, out of the original Planet of the Apes, is called John Charlton Carter. Michael Keaton, I can only really remember him from the other guys and from Jack Frost. But his real name is Michael John Douglas. Ben Kingsley, his real name is Krishna Banji. He's one of my favourite actors and his name's Krishna. That's really cool. Stan Laurel, one half of Laurel and Hardy, is Arthur Stanley Jefferson. So that's just a big lie. Roy Rogers is called Leonard Sly. Mickey Rooney is called Joe Yule Jr. Kevin Spacey is called Kevin Matthew Fowler. He was good in Horrible Bosses. Gene Wilder's real name is Jerome Silberman. And John Wayne, this is actually quite famous, this one. John Wayne's real name is Marion Michael Morrison. He's famous for being called Marion, even though his stage name is John Wayne. So that was a list of real names of famous people. If you want to hear more lists, tell me. If you don't, tell me. And if you do, What kind of lists should I read? Thanks.